Verse 2, look what he says. They do not consider in their hearts that I remember all their wickedness, and now their own deeds have surrounded them. They are before my face. There was no fear of God among the people. There was no fear of consequences, either from man or God, no concern. You probably have seen the videos of people in California that are walking into department stores and filling up, garbage bags full of clothes and just walking out. Have you guys seen those videos? Yeah, because California has adopted a law that any theft under $940 is considered a misdemeanor, and the police don't report for misdemeanors. The police don't do anything because they're stretched so thin. And so the people know they can get away with it. They can just walk into a department store, just brazenly go in and fill up a bag and walk out, and there's no fear of consequences. But here the Lord says they do not consider in their hearts that I remember all their wickedness. Now their own deeds have surrounded them. They are before my face. God is always watching, and God sees all things that we do. Job chapter 34, verse 21, for his eyes are on the ways of man, and he sees all his steps. Proverbs chapter 5, verse 21, for your ways are in full view of the Lord, and he examines all your paths. Jeremiah chapter 16, verse 17, my eyes are on all their ways, they are not hidden from me, nor is their sin concealed from my eyes. God sees everything we do. Nothing is hidden from him. Remember the story in John chapter 4 of the woman at the well, the immoral woman that Jesus speaks to at the well. And at one point in the conversation, Jesus says to the woman, go get your husband. And she says, well, I don't have a husband. I'm not married. And Jesus says, that's right, you're not married, but you've had 5 husbands, and the guy that you're with right now, you're not married to. You're just living with the guy. And the woman said, sir, I perceive you're a prophet, right? He sees all things. He knows all things. Nothing is hidden from his sight. Now, if you're not a believer in Jesus Christ, that probably makes you anxious, knowing that God sees all things and knows all things that you've ever done. But if you are a believer in Jesus Christ, it's a great comfort to us to know that he sees everything that happens in your life. Your sin has already been dealt with on the cross. Your sin's already been paid for and removed by the sacrifice of Christ. Now you're a child of God. God is your Father, and he sees everything. He knows everything about you, even your thoughts, your emotions. He understands how you feel, what you're thinking, what you're going through. There's a great passage in Matthew chapter 10 where Jesus says, are not 2 sparrows sold for a penny? Yet not one of them will fall to the ground outside of your Father's care. Sparrows were not worth much. You could get 2 for a penny. You can't buy one because you can't give change for a penny, right? You got to get at least 2. You buy one, you get one free. We'll just give you a second one because we can't give you a change for a penny. And yet Jesus said, not one sparrow falls to the ground outside your Father's care. God's even attentive to the sparrows. And then he goes on to say, and even the hairs of your head are all numbered, so don't be afraid. You are worth more than many sparrows. The point is if God is attentive to the sparrows that are worth nothing, how much more will he be attentive to you and me, who are made in his image? Us, me and you, that he sent his Son, Jesus Christ, to die for. Now, Jesus didn't die on the cross to reconcile sparrows to God. He died on the cross to reconcile mankind, us, you and me, to God. So how much more attentive will he be to us and our needs? He says, God has numbered all your hairs. Not just counteth the total number of hairs you have on your head and knows the total number. He's assigned a number to every hair on your head. That's how much He cares for us. That's how much he cares about the details of your life and my life. Now, you probably don't even know the total number of hairs on your head, much less have a number for each hair. And you consider yourself a Christian, right? Because that's unimportant. It's unimportant to us. You've never been asked how many hairs are on your head. You've never had to, filling out a form at the doctor's office. You've never had to answer that question. How many hairs do you have on your head? Because it's unimportant. But it's important to God. It matters to Him. He's that into us and the details of our lives that He even assigns a number to every hair on your head. And what God is saying in verse 2 is that the fear of the Lord affects people's behavior for the better. It makes them moral. If they know that there is a God, if they know that there is a judgment someday, it will affect their behavior. But if there's no fear of the Lord, people will practice wickedness because people are naturally bad, not naturally good. The prevailing worldview in our culture today is that people are naturally good. And so you don't need laws. You can make theft under $940 a misdemeanor. And people aren't going to abuse that. You don't need the police because man is naturally good. That's what the prevailing worldview is. But the biblical worldview, what the Bible teaches, is man is naturally bad and sinful and has a bent towards wickedness. And that's also why the Bible tells us that God has appointed governing authorities over mankind.